So let's see. I'm just gonna run through really quickly the talents on the specs for Unholy, okay? I'll run through Unholy. There's like a couple different builds, but we're just gonna talk about one build, okay? We're gonna talk about one build, alright? This is the one, this is the most current build that you've seen. Probably, this is the build you've seen most currently, probably, alright? I think, alright, here we go, guys. This is the Unholy DK guide. Everybody get ready, alright? So I'm gonna talk about the talents, okay? So the first row of talents for the build, we're talking the ranged consistent damage build, okay? That's the build we're gonna be going over in this guide, okay? So the first thing you're gonna do is you can play anything in this row, really, but I personally would recommend All Will Serve. The pet does about 4 to 5% damage now, so I would recommend you play All Will Serve for this row, okay? The next row, you're not gonna play Bursting Swords unless you're playing Necrotic Strike. But Necrotic Strike is not the build we're talking about right now, so skip that, alright? You're not going to play Even Fever. Maybe if you're in RBGs you could do that or something, but what you're going to be playing for this is Unholy Blight for the pet damage, okay? For the pet damage, alright? The next thing we're going to be looking at here is the next row, alright? This next row, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So basically, you're going to be playing Asphyxiate. There's no other option in this row you're going to be playing, alright? This is the only thing you're going to play in this row, is Asphyxiate. That's it. No other choice. The next row. So this is where it gets a little interesting, okay? So the next row, Pestilent Pustules, Harbinger, Soul Reaper. If you're playing the Conduit, I'll show you it. If you're playing this Conduit right here, where the fuck is it? Do I not even have it? Okay, whatever. If you're playing the Conduit that makes your death coils do more damage, you could play Harbinger of Doom. Or if you're doing 2v2s, it can be really hard to proc a Soul Reaper in 2v2s, right? So if you're doing that, you can play Harbinger of Doom or you can play Soul Reaper, basically. In 3s, I would recommend the Soul Reaper, though. Because if you're going to be playing 3s, you're going to be playing most likely TSG for Unholy. So the Warrior is going to be able to get them low enough for your Soul Reaper to proc. And also in 3v3s, I'll tell you the PvP talents after, but yeah, you'll see why we're going to play Soul Reaper, okay? The next thing we're going to play here on this row. So you can play any one of these, right? You're going to be changing these depending what you're fighting. If you're fighting casters, you can play Spell Eater to make your AMS bigger. So you can maybe survive a combustion without a zone, right? You can play Wraithwalk if you're fighting melee and you want to be able to kite. Personally, Wraithwalk is one of my favorites. I like it more than Death Pact myself, but Unholy is really squishy right now. So Death Pact can definitely be pretty impactful. And then of course you have Death Pact, right? Which is just a heal. It's just a normal heal. So, like I said, you're going to be switching those up depending what you're fighting. Alright, the next row. The next row is simple. The next row is very simple, okay? You're going to be playing Unholy Pact. There's nothing else that you're going to be playing. You're playing Unholy Pact, period. It makes your pet give you 5% strength while it's transformed. There's a Conduit that goes really well with it too. And also the Legendary we're going to be using is going to be going with it too. So it has synergy with a lot of things. It has synergy with your Legendary. It has synergy with a Conduit. So it's just that's it. That's all. You just choose this one, right? You're choosing this one. You're going to be choosing this one. Thanks for the sub, Bud Seltzer. Alright, the next row on this list. So, for the build that I'm using right now, I'm playing Army of the Damned. Just because we're going to be using Necromancer's Bargain. So, Army of the Damned, Necromancer's Bargain. The two of those abilities, they work together, right? They work together. As you see, my Apocalypse is a 30-second cooldown, okay? 30 seconds. And every death coil you shoot, is going to lower the cooldown. So that's why Harbinger of Doom can be very good too, because you're just spamming death coils, making your Apocalypse even a shorter cooldown. And the Apocalypse is going to be summoning a Magus, right? So they can't really kite your pet. The only thing they can do is line of sight your pets. So, boom. Pretty good. Unholy Assault, you can also play that if you want to switch it out. Like, if you have something that's not going to... If you're playing against something that's not going to kite your pets, then you could play Unholy Assault if you wanted to. But if you just want if you're playing Unholy Assault, then you're not going to be playing Necromancer's Bargain, okay? So just keep that in mind. If you're playing Army of the Damned, you're going to be playing Necromancer's Bargain. If you're playing Unholy Assault, you're not. So basically, let's look at the PvP talents now. This is what you're going to be playing, okay? You look at these three. You're playing this one. If you're playing the build that I'm showing you right now, you're going to be playing this, okay? Necromancer's Bargain. That's the thing that's going to make your cooldown of Apocalypse be short. And you're just going to be spamming Apocalypses like it's literally your day job. Like it's your day job, you know? Just fucking hacking away. The next thing here. So, if you're playing 3v3s, you can swap out the A-bomb, alright? You can swap out the A-bomb. So like I said, if you're playing 3v3s as Unholy, the main comp you're going to want to be playing is TSG, okay? So that's going to be Warrior and Holy. So, Warriors have an execute if the enemy is in lower health or higher health. At a certain percentage, right? So do you with Soul Reaper. Soul Reaper is an execute at 35% HP. You have to keep them 35% HP, and then your Soul Reaper will proc and kill them. Same as the execute, right? So that's the reason you're going to be using Decomposition Aura, because it lowers their max health, so it'll be easier to get them to the 35% range. So you're going to play that, and you're going to play Necrotic Aura just for the damage from your pets, because your Magus is going to be all magic damage, right? It's shooting spells. It shoots Frostbolts and other things, as well as your Death Coils are going to be magic damage, your Scourge Strike's going to do some. So basically, this is what you're going to play, these three talents, okay? If you're in 2v2s, you can probably swap out the Soul Reaper to a Harbinger of Doom and put in an A-bomb, or you can play Soul Reaper with Decomp, it's up to you. But basically, that's that. So that's that with the talents. Alright, boys. Well, what now? Wait, let me update the subs really quick. Stat prio for Unholy. I'll show you. Subs today. Let me just update the subs. 540. So, okay, so the stat priority for Unholy, the stat priority is pretty simple, okay? It's going to be Mastery versus. You can have Haste as well. So it's going to be Mastery versus Haste is the stat priority for Unholy. As for the runes that you're going to use, or the rune, sorry, is going to be Fallen Crusader. For 2v2, you're going to use Fallen Crusader. For 3v3, you could use Stone Skin Gargoyle. It's up to you. One of those two. I haven't really tested Apocalypse. If you're fighting casters and you have an extra weapon that you can throw spell warding on, feel free to use that, but as like a safe overall, you could use Stone Skin Gargoyle. I just had a combo with this. I'll show you guys how to burst, alright? I'll show you guys how to burst with this. Alright, so here we go. This is how you're gonna burst, okay? So first of all, a couple tips, alright? A couple tips over here. This is the tips for you, okay? Number one is keep your dot up at all times. So you want to keep your dot up on all targets at all times. That's number one. Another thing is with Epidemic. With the Epidemic ability, you can keep your dot on the healer, and then when the healer goes to drink, you can stop it with Epidemic. So that's one of the reasons you want to keep the dot on the healer at all times. Okay, so as for how it plays, this is how it plays, right? Like I said, you're going to keep your dot on them. I'll just show you the normal combo. You're going to keep your dot on them, and then you're going to fester. You're going to fester. So make sure you never go over 5 wounds, right? So Fester can apply 2 to 3 wounds. So if you have 4 wounds, do not press Fester. Only press Fester if they have 3 or less wounds on them, right? And then basically you're just going to break the wounds with your Scourge Strike. Break the wounds with your Scourge Strike. You can dump your Death Coils too. Dump your Runic Power with Death Coil. But if you're low health, you're going to dump it with Death Strike, alright? And that's all there's to that. That's basically just your normal rotation. It's pretty straightforward, actually. It's very straightforward. You can take Soulbringer or Harbinger, it's up to you. Okay, and this, I'm going to show you guys how to burst now, okay? The most ideal burst rotation you can have. So, basically it's going to look a little something like this. So since you're playing Unholy Blight and Soul Reaper, the first thing you're going to do, oh, we're not playing A-Bomb though, okay? We're not playing A-Bomb. So the first thing we're going to do here, this is how we burst, alright? We're going to go in. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to Unholy Blight, we're going to Dark Transformation, we're going to Fester, Apocalypse, A-Bomb's Limb. And then you're just gonna pop Festers, right? Just pop the wounds. Just pop the wounds. When you're out of wounds, you're just gonna Fester and apply more. The Scourge Strike to pop the wounds, faster to apply them, right? And that's literally it. When you get them to 70, or when you get them down to 35%, you're gonna drop Soul Reapers, but it's gonna be harder. You're gonna probably want to put the Soul Reaper around 50% when you have all your pets out, and then you're gonna just keep trying to time the Soul Reaper. It's gonna be tough to get off, but in 3s with a warrior, you should be able to do it. And that is basically your burst rotation right there. That's it. With this build, it's very simple. You don't have any Unholy Assault, you don't have any A-Bomb. You literally just have Soul Reaper and Unholy Blight. So, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. What else do we have to cover here? I think that's literally everything. Oh, Conduits. Okay, we're going to look at Conduits really quickly, all right? So, the last thing we're going to cover here is soulbinds and Conduits. So, personally, I recommend Marilith, okay? Because the problem with Unholy is that it's not tanky. It's super squishy because Deathstrike is nerfed really hard, right? So I'm going to recommend Marilith for the Ooze Frictionless Coating. You could also play Emny for the Fear, though, if you wanted to. Could probably also play Bonesmith Hermir, but this is more for RBGs in my opinion. So remember before I was talking about Unholy Pact having synergy with the legendary that you're going to use, which is Frenzied Monstrosity. This is the legendary you're going to use. So when your pet's transformed, it's going to increase your damage. This is going to increase your damage when your pet's transformed by 5% strength. And the last thing that's going to have synergy here is Eternal Hungerer, which is also increases the Dark Transformation's duration and increases the damage that your minions do by 4%. So all of those 3 things are going to stack together and synergize with each other, right? And you're just going to be fucking pumping. You're just going to be pumping. So, yeah. And so that's the legendary soulbinds. I think we covered so we basically covered everything there. So, but one thing to remember is if you're going to play this into 2s, it's going to be really good into casters, and it's going to be really bad into warriors. So just remember that, and don't feel discouraged. Good luck in the arenas with Unholy. And, yeah, let me know in the comments if this works for you at all.